filmmaker Javon Frank made the documentary Life's Essentials with Ruby Dee that explores the couple's activism. They recently visited News One Now to talk about the film as well as Ruby and Ossie.
They were great lovers of people, and that love allowed them to participate for decades in activism, and they were able to bridge people who were working for people of color, like Dr. King and Malcolm X. They were able to do things like have meetings where they had Roy Wilkins, Whitney Young, even Lorraine Hansberry. They try to get everybody to work together so that they can move toward a central positive goal and uplift the people.
Paul Robeson was someone who certainly inspired Harry Belafonte, Ruby Dee, as well as Ossie Davis as well. And one of the things that he said is that art is synonymous with my activism. You cannot separate my activism from my art. And in many ways, that's exactly what these two did. They understood that, sure, breaking barriers on television, on the big screen, on Broadway was important, but having that platform did not serve a purpose if you did not use it.
Very true.
Absolutely.
Love, art, and activism went hand in hand with Ossie and Ruby. Like Ossie and Ruby went together like peanut butter and jelly, and it's a beautiful thing to see actors who are together in marriage to use their position in life to step out and do social good for people of color and just people all over.
How long have you been working on this documentary? Ruby Dee passed last year, but were you starting on this before she passed?
Yeah, we interviewed her for the first time in November 2011. We got our Kickstarter funding, our Kickstarter project. We got that funding in June, July of 2012. And 2 years later, with our small team, we premiered at the American Black Film Festival in New York. And she happened to pass away the night we were finishing the audio mix, so she never got a chance to come to that premiere.
It's always interesting to tell the backstory. And so who are some of the folks you also talked with to be able to shape this particular documentary?
A lot of people, everyone who just loved and admired Grandpa and Grand Ruby, from Alan Alda to Danny Glover, Mr. Harry Belafonte, Felicia Rashad, Angela Bassett, and also on the activism side, Dr. Cornel West, Michelle Alexander, Professor Benia Silva, and Spike Lee. A lot of great people stepped forward to be part of this documentary. We're happy about that.
The inordinate power of their talent set a pace for the rest of us.
My films were elevated because of the presence of Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis. And it's an amazing story. Ossie and Ruby have been at the center of American life for so long and accomplished so much, so much, so much.
They didn't just create, say, what artists had nothing to do with that. They dealt with the events of their time.
Both Ruby and Ossie saw their life as much larger than themselves.
She's feisty. Of course, she is a genteel lady and sophisticated as any, but she brings it right on down to the common denominator.
What's the one thing folks will be surprised to learn about Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis by watching this documentary?
Well, I think they'll be surprised. Her answers to me are so candid and so honest. And I think they'll be surprised to know about her, how she succeeded in a 56-plus year marriage. And some of those secrets are given to me, and the audience can see that as they watch the documentary. I think that'll be the greatest surprise, the intimacy in which she answers the questions.
I think it's just a great conversation between a grandmother and a grandson. And of course, it's Ruby Dee, which is a great person to want to get advice from. But just seeing that intimate conversation between Mutali and his grandmother and her being very candid, it's like you're speaking with your grandmother. Your grandmother is giving you advice that you would love to hear from someone who is such an icon and love artist.
When Jamie Foxx received his NAACP Image Award a couple of years ago, he was moved to tears because of Harry Belafonte's speech prior to that. And he talked about it because Harry Belafonte challenged those in the audience to use their platforms. What do you believe celebrities today, whether they are big screen, small screen, whether they are in music, fashion, can learn from this documentary to inform them about issues today and the social justice today?
I think celebrities can learn that activism and being on camera shouting is just a superficial level. I think they can learn that true activism is very passionate and sexy. Their activism came from their love for humanity and their love for one another. And as soon as we can understand the difference between calling attention to a subject and following through, and so that's what celebrities can do. They can follow through. They can put back on their "I Can't Breathe" T-shirts. You know, we can follow through when things fall to the wayside. I'm in there in the archive looking at these letters from Grandpa and Grand Ruby. When subjects weren't popular, they were pushing to help people who were in need. And I think a lot of celebrities can learn the difference between getting in front of the camera when the subject is hot and getting in front and getting in front of the community when the subject is not hot.
About 20 seconds.
Well, just activism is a way to go, and Mutali explored his lack of activism in the film, and we want people to see where their lack of activism is and to move forward and step out and use their voice for good and positive change.
For more information about the film, visit RubyDeeLifeEssentialDocs.com. All right, folks, coming up next,